What's up, Shadow Nerds? Man, it has been a fucking minute, dude. I am not happy about it either, but life has been absolutely crazy. Hits hard, like I'm sure a lot of yours has as well this year, especially 2020. Real quick, just want to say Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, whatever floats your boat, because this is going to come out like tonight or whatever, but it's a few days before Christmas. So just wanted to say that. I hope everybody has a safe holiday and has a fun, amazing holiday. Today I want to talk to you about how to store your comics, okay? But before we get into that, subscribe to my channel, hit the like button, that way more people can see it. And if you haven't already, tell your mama, tell your friends, they need to subscribe to the channel as well. Alright, I want to talk to you about how to store your comics. I have a video describing whether you should get your comics graded. Check that out. I have a video describing about how to catalog your comics. I have a video on that. Check that out as well. Those will both be in the at the end of the video. But before that, how to store your comics. A lot of people, especially beginners, want to know how they should do it. I have seen some awful ways of storing people's comics, and it just breaks my freaking heart, man. One of my buddies had his in one of those, sorry, don't mean to ouch you, David, but whatever, in a plastic storage bin like you get from Walmart, just laying flat down in there, stacked on stacked on stacked on stacked on stacked on top of each other. And the bottom of those containers are round. So that means the comics are going to bend round. You don't want that. You don't. So it just broke my heart to see that. Let me also start off by saying this is all debatable. This is all, at the end of the day, your preference, okay? So you need to take that into consideration, find which way you like the best, and do it your way. This is assuming that you can't buy one of those big-ass fancy cabinets to store your comics, okay? I don't know how much money you got. I ain't got enough for that shit, okay? This is also assuming that you can't build your own by hand, which I've seen people do, and they come out amazing. I also am not skilled enough or have enough time to even attempt to do something like that. So, for us common folk, okay, I'm going to show you how I do it, okay? First and foremost, you want to put them in a long box or you want to put them in a short box. That is completely up to you. But at the end of the day, that is the ideal position. Your comics need to be vertical when in storage, okay? You don't really want them stacked on stacked on stacked on top of each other. This is probably going to damage them more in the long run, but you want to store them vertically if you can. That is why we put them in boxes like this or this to have them stand up straight, okay? Also, I'm going to show you another trick. This is all before you even put the comic in the box. This is just my, I hope you guys can see this. So, in front of every box and in the back of every box, I like to put you can use boards, you can cut out some cardboard, okay, of a decent size, and I like to place them at the front of the box, okay? Why? Because inside of here, there's a little handle here, I doubt you can see it, but if it's leaning up against your comics all day, it's going to mess up the middle of that comic where that handle is, and every time you move it or anything like that, you don't want that, okay? It's just going to dent up your comics. So I take a couple of extra boards from my comic book stuff and put them in the front, okay, to prevent that from happening. And I put them in the back as well just to prevent the same freaking thing, okay? That's just me personally. Another thing, if you're choosing between a short box and a long box, these hold 150, okay? The long boxes hold 300. These are usually around, this is one of those custom ones. I got a Superman, Batman, I got a Power Ranger one back there as well. Those cost anywhere, because they're custom, I guess you could say, those are a little bit more expensive, usually anywhere between 10 and 15 bucks. These long boxes, same thing. These plain white long boxes, usually around probably about $8 to $12, okay? And if you know the comic book shop owner, sometimes they'll give you one of these for free. With that being said, just because it says it holds 150, I would put about 120, 130 in there. The idea being, and I don't know if you guys can see this, so I hope so. Okay, you want to be able to have some room to go back and forth with your comics, okay? Just like that. This will give you some leeway, because the last thing you want to do is to be putting in a new comic and struggling and doing this thing where you're shoving it down in there, okay? Because all you're going to do is you're going to hurt the corners, you're going to hurt the edges and all that. So that way when you put it in, you leave a little room, boom, okay, it goes right in, no problem. You don't want to squeeze it in there, okay? It's not a fat lady in a thong, okay? You need to try and fit it in there comfortably. So I always allow a little bit of wiggle room in all of my boxes, okay? With long boxes, again, they hold 300. Me personally, about 280, somewhere around there. Leave that room. I promise you, it's to your benefit. Because what happens also, if they're too tight, when you have two comics on top of each other, oh shit, well. Let's say they're like that, okay? They're not completely lined up. What tends to happen is, over time, if they're squeezing against each other, the comic behind it is going to have this kind of like dent almost the entire way from the other comic pushing on it. You can even turn it like this and you'd be able to see it sometimes if you did that, okay? It's not pretty. It's not going to be helpful to you. And I got to put those back later. So take that into mind as well as another reason to leave space. Just because it says it holds a certain amount doesn't mean you need to fill it up to that amount, okay? Another thing on these long boxes, when you're picking, let me pull one out here, and I hope you guys can see this, sorry. Here's the issue with long boxes. They're heavy. Ah, Jesus, all right. Whew, I'm on the ground, don't judge, it is what it is. So, these bitches is heavy, okay? But again, you see I got my wiggle room, all right? And then I got my short box over here. If you can't see this, I'm sorry. All right, you got your wiggle room in both. These things are freaking heavy, but this is a newer one. It's got the double cardboard, okay? It's a little bit thicker, a little more sturdy. It'll last longer. These things are great. They're a lot lighter to carry if you're going to be traveling a lot. These are great, okay? Way less weight to be carrying around. However, me personally, I mean, I know it looks like I have a bunch, but majority of them only have a couple here and there in them. But me personally, I don't want to have 10 of these, 20 of these little small boxes laying around everywhere filled with comics, okay? Especially when you get one with different designs and stuff like that. It's a whole lot more of stuff to move, and it just kind of looks messy or unorganized and stuff, and I just prefer not that. I originally started with these, all right? I would just stack them on top of each other. By the way, don't stack, okay? There will be some videos out there telling you to stack. Don't stack. Just my opinion, okay? So yeah, the reason why I like long boxes, because when it's all said and done, it looks all nice and neat with your long boxes. I feel like Vanna White here. It looks nice and neat, okay? Almost like you're at a comic book store. You got long box after long box after long box, all lined up with all your comics in there and everything. They look good, okay? Just my opinion. I have a buddy. He has about 20 of these just laying around the house, all filled with comics, no order, no structure. Lids are on, lids are off, okay? There's not alphabetical order, nothing like that, okay? To me, it looks sloppy. I don't prefer it, but if you can't afford these, at least do these, okay? I promise you, because at the end of the day, the most important thing is that at least your comics are stored properly, okay? Talking about properly, keep them in a cool, dry area, okay? Cool, dry area. Obviously, you don't want a place that's going to be all wet. You don't want a place with a lot of humidity, okay? Closets, okay? Mine are on the floor here because nothing goes on over here. They're kind of out of the way. You don't want them near a window or something by a lot of sunlight, okay? Because that's how the covers are going to start to get faded and stuff like that, all right? Cool, dry area. Remember that. Another thing, I love to have these all alphabetical order, okay? Actually, when I moved here and I had to take all these out, I bought so many freaking comics when I first moved here, probably about $250 or something like that. I had to put them in alphabetical order again, and I had them all over my floor, like 30 piles, well, I guess, the alphabet, 26 piles of all the letters of comics, and then I went and individually put them back in order. I personally loved that. It was a lot of fun to me. It took like 4 days, but whatever. Put them in alphabetical order. What's the alphabetical order? Well, go on your CLZ app, like I told you to download, okay? If you don't remember, go back, watch my CLZ app. It's a great thing to catalog your comics. And you go down the list, okay? This, Adventures of this is first, and then Amazing Spider-Man is after that, and then Azrael is after that, and so on and so on and so on and so on, okay? Put them in alphabetical order. It's awesome. It's a big help. Then, once you do that, you go and get these, okay? You can get these at your comic book store. You can get these at Walmart, probably anywhere. They're just little, dividers, okay? You go get you a label maker, or hell, you can just use a freaking Sharpie if you want. It's up to you. Put the letter on them, and that way you know exactly where it is. I'll have to fix that. I'm sure that's wrong. And then, oh, you need a Superman comic or a Spider-Man comic? Cool, S section, done. Boom, okay? Me, I would stick with letters. I've seen some people try and break it down into series. Man, with as many fucking mini-series that they have coming out and stuff like that, you would be writing labels forever. And you'd have 1,000 of these, in all your boxes. To me, it's just a waste of time. Just do the alphabet. Okay, some people even have it their Marvel boxes in alphabetical order, and then they have separate ones for DC Comics in alphabetical order. If you want to do that, that's fine. That's your own preference. But at the end of the day, I strongly suggest alphabetical order with these dividing. It is a big help when you go to look for a comic. Okay? Last thing that I wanted to tell you about. This thing. This is BCW. They make this as well. I hope you guys can see this. This came out 2, 3, 4 years ago, maybe, something like that. It's their plastic thing. Okay, has some handles on each side. All right, it's great for storage. It's great for rough storage. You can stack these. These you can stack. Okay, they're made to be stacked, and they lock as well. Even if I wanted to open it, I can't open it. You just slide these back. Okay, and then they open. I don't really have a lot in here right now. All I have in here now is comics that I need to send off to be graded to CGC. Okay. These I keep in as good as condition as I can, so they're separated from all the rest of these. They're still vertical. The only difference would be that I have these back to back, so I don't want to pull these out to mess with them. But what I mean by back to back, is I have them like this. Okay, right? I have them facing each other because that's going to prevent that line on the binding that I was talking about. You don't want that, so if you do it back to back, right, and then the next one, let me pull one of these out. I'll put all these back later. That'll be a pain. Back to back, and then cover to cover, and then back to back, and so on and so forth, okay? That's going to prevent that line across there, and that's why I did it for those, because those I want to be in as amazing condition as I can, okay? These run about $21. I think you can get these at $21.99 on the BCW website. You can go to a store. They're going to charge you a little bit more, probably around $25 if I had to guess. Usually, that's what I ended up buying this from my comic shop. They interlock back and lock. Done. Okay, can't open it back up. Keeps your comics in case you have a little kid like I do and he comes over and it's no biggie. Okay, so again, that's a good one for your hardcore comics. That's it, guys. That's it for how to store your comics. One more thing is these. This is a newer one. These are the older ones. This one's got a piece of tape on it. Okay, this box looks dirty and nasty. That is another pro for the short boxes, is they usually end up in better condition because they're smaller, they're colorful. You're not going to notice dirt and stuff on them like you will on the long boxes. So again, it's all debatable. It's all preference. It's all up to you. Those are my tips on how to store your comics. If you like this, you like the channel, please subscribe, hit like. See you next time. Love you guys. Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, all that. Shadow Nerds out.